Welcome everyone to another top 10, and today I'm going to be ranking the top 10 strongest baby Pokemon. Now, for those who are unaware as to what a baby Pokemon is and what determines a baby Pokemon in comparison to just regular little cup monsters, the requirements go as follows according to Bulbapedia. Must be obtainable by breeding, must be the lowest form in a family chain and must be able to evolve at least once, must belong to the no eggs discovered egg group. So, you know, Pokemon like Pichu, Togepi, and Azumarill. Yeah, those are pretty prime examples of what a baby Pokemon is. Now, why am I comparing all these adorable, squishy, huggable Pokemon in terms of strength? And who is best to use in battle? I've just taken a small interest in Little Cup and thought I'd share my opinions. Oh, also before we continue, because it's too obvious, there are 3 Pokemon I'm banning from this list, because it's too obvious, and of course they're gonna be at the top. Wynot has an amazing ability in Shadow Tag, Riolu is an all-around solid Pokemon, and Munchlax has been a solid Eviolite tank. We want to keep the list fresh, so I'm gonna avoid talking about the obvious. Also, as usual, Mystic Reeds and Mystic Umbreon shorts. With that, let's get into it. Deciding who I considered to be the 10th strongest baby Pokemon was a rather hard endeavor, I must admit. As I was looking over them all one by one, while some have been standouts for their excellence and others have been standouts for their failures, it was hard to determine who was going to be the number 10. After a lot of thought, I decided on Chingling. Its stats are all middling, with its highest being a 65 special attack. 45 HP in speed and 50 in both defenses. It doesn't stand out because there are just better Pokemon with better stats. At least it's learned to Taunt, Thunder Wave, Heal Bell, and Wish for utility. Offensively, it will have moves you will be hearing again later. Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Signal Beam, alongside psychic moves like Psyshock and Future Sight. Alright, that's interesting. Regardless, it's a jack of all trades and master of none, and while its roll compression on teams is nice, I just wish it could come into a league of its own. Oh, smooch 'em. Frail on all ends essentially, with no standout qualities on the defenses. 65 special defense is alright at best, and 45 HP and an astoundingly bad 15 base physical defense means that in order to beat her, you can just give her a tiny little flick and she won't get back up. 85 special attack is alright. She certainly hits hard compared to the rest of her fellow baby Pokemon. The issue is that for the offensive Pokemon she wants to be, she only has a base 65 speed. Sure, it's alright, but she finds herself outpaced by 2 of the other Pokemon on this list and walled by some of the ones she doesn't outpace. Nasty Plot, Ice Beam, Psyshock, Signal Beam, and Shadow Ball are nice, but trying to set up Nasty Plot is pointless with that fertility. Draining Kiss is clutch when she doesn't have much HP to recover. For abilities, Hydration in Rain is fine, but it's no dry skin like Jinx or Water Absorb like a different Pokemon on this list. She's solid, but she's not good enough to be much higher. You know, for a baby Pokemon, Magby is pretty alright. Base 83 speed and a 75 attack and 70 special attack makes it a very solid, well-rounded attacker. Honestly, had it had some better coverage, it would have been higher on this list. From the special attacking side, it has Psychic and then some fire moves. But hey, a really strong Overheat somewhat compensates for this. Physically, Cross Chop, Fire Punch, Iron Tail, and Thunder Punch. The fertility it has doesn't help either, and compensating for your low physical defense with Flame Body means that you aren't allowed to rely on Vital Spirit. The fire typing also isn't particularly known for having good defenses either, so it's gonna need to hit hard and fast, otherwise it's gonna fall short. Out of Smoochum, Magby, and Elekid, Elekid to me has always been the most viable of the 3. Static is a solid ability, and Vital Spirit means that you won't lose just because you switched into a sleep move. It's got 95 speed, which I'm pretty sure makes it the fastest baby Pokemon. 63 attack and 65 special attack means it can hit solidly hard enough, at least considering the competition. It has access to Power Up Punch and the Elemental Punches, and Cross Chop for extra power. On the special side, Thunderbolt, Discharge, and Signal Beam are all that's really worth using. Sadly, it's lacking in special coverage, but it is what it is. I consider Happiny to be a rather interesting Pokemon. Did you know that its defense stat of 5 does not change upon evolution in the Chansey? It only becomes the absolutely amazing 10 when it becomes Blissey. It's a solid special tank and it gets counter. What's there not to love? It has 100 HP, 65 special defense, and it's basically a mini Chansey, which, given that it evolves in the Chansey, that makes complete sense. Thunderwave, Toxic, Heal Bell, Aromatherapy, Seismic Toss, and Soft Boil. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind, mini Chansey actually does not get soft boiled. I thought it did. I guess we gotta use Rest and potentially Sleep Talk. Honestly though, it's a real shame it doesn't get soft boiled. Otherwise that could have buffed it up so much higher on the list. Now, Mime Jr. is definitely a good baby Pokemon. Psychic and Fairy is a solid typing, and it has 2 abilities worth using. Soundproof makes you immune to Roar, Boom Burst, and all other sound-based moves. Filter makes it to where you take 3/4 damage from super effective attacks, making it more resilient. Technician is the odd one out, because buffing Fake Out and Shockwave is unnecessary, especially with access to Thunderbolt. Use Icy Wind if you want, since it's good on Technician, but it's ill-advised. Of course, it has good coverage like Thunderbolt, Psychic-type moves, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Signal Beam, but that's not what pushes it being on the latter half of this ranking. If it were, Chingling would be higher on this list. It's the access to Thunder Wave, Nasty Plot, Taunt, Trick, Calm Mind, and Barrier that give it the versatility it needs to be able to run whatever kind of set it wants. If it had a little bit better speed, it could have been an all-star amongst its competition. But alas, base 70 special attack and base 60 speed will have to do. Just don't let it take a physical hit with the base 20 HP and 45 defense. A special hit, on the other hand, base 90? I don't got too many gripes about this little guy. Now, I know this is gonna be weird to put on here, but Togepi is actually an impressive Pokemon for something that's considered weak and puny. It has incredible variety in its move pool, with access to Thunder Wave, Nasty Plot, Draining Kiss, Flamethrower, Psyshock, Ancient Power, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Signal Beam. Sounds like Signal Beam is a rather recurring theme today on this list. Can you 3 just stop making me repeat myself? Thank you. Anyways, Togepi also gets Morning Sun and Soft Boiled for being able to recover, alongside actually solid defensive stats for a baby Pokemon. Hold on a second though. Togepi gets Soft Boiled, but Happiny doesn't? If that isn't Game Freak favoritism, I don't know what is. 35 HP is mid, but the 65s in both defenses definitely compensate. But the truest strength it has comes from Metronome, clearly. After all, imagine if you Metronome into Fissure and it lands. If Ting Lu can land Fissure, so can we. Come on, Metronome's fun. I'm not selling you guys on that. Fine, whatever. But Togepi has some outstanding traits that make it an overall excellent baby Pokemon in comparison to its competition. That much I assure you. I was unaware of the sheer potency of Mantyke until this very moment. As I was doing my research for this list, I noticed something rather interesting about Mantyke. It has a base 120 special defense stat. That's the special defense stat of Tentacruel, Toedscruel, Orbeetle, Claydol, Cresselia, and even some others. Nothing special, you know, just the Creation Trio and Arceus. Now, sure, it's not as durable with the base 45 HP, but in comparison to its competition, this makes it excellent in terms of natural bulk. Base 50 defense is a little shabby, and the base 60 special attack could be better. But this all synergizes well with its abilities. You can use Swift Swim to make it a Hydro Pump and Ice Beam abusing monster in rain, or you can use Water Absorb to be immune to water and play a more defensive role with Scald, Protect, and even Tailwind for support. If only it had Roost, then it could truly be a demon. But you can't have it all, so we'll take what we can get. Consider me a fan of Mantyke. We should take a moment to analyze the monstrous power and physical bulk of Bonsai. It boasts a powerful base 80 physical attack, and a potent base 50 HP and 95 physical defense. The 45 special defense is meh, and it's not what we're here for. What holds it back is the base 10 speed stat. it's slow, and it will be hard to get its moves off before taking massive damage regardless. You could use it on Trick Room, but I'm not even sure if you should. Sturdy is nice to guarantee its survival, and Rockhead would be good, but Bonsai lacks access to Head Smash, instead only having Double Edge. And even then, that Double Edge is surpassed by the number 1 on the list. But its traits make it absolutely great for what it does do, and that's ram itself into the opponent full force. It has Curse, Sucker Punch, Stone Edge, Trailblaze for grass coverage, Earthquake and Brick Break for offensive capabilities, alongside Stealth Rocks and Spikes for hazards. Actually, that's pretty versatile. It's definitely earned its spot on the list. You know, I didn't expect to have this answer when Riolu, Munchlax, and Wynaut were kicked off the list, due to their already established value as Pokemon. But when you sit down and think about it, Azumarill is a menace. In terms of actual strength, it has an amazing stab, huge power boosted return, or an even meatier double edge if that's your style. Sure, it has minuscule stats, but when compared to other non-evolved Pokemon, it really isn't the worst. That base stat total of 190 is a lie, and you shouldn't fall for it. It also gets Knockoff, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, and Iron Tail. Sure, it has no really good Fairy Stab, but having a Ghost immunity and Dragon immunity is also pretty solid too. This is a powerhouse in the form of a small little bungus. Truly, appearances can be deceiving. And that's the list. What'd you guys think? Am I underestimating the capabilities of some of these baby Pokemon? Do you think I could have gone into them in more detail? Or do you have a list of your own about how you'd rank these little guys? Let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching my content. With Scarlet and Violet DLC on the way, we have a lot to be excited for. Not just that though, but I've got a bunch of other cool series planned throughout the year that I'm sure you guys will love. If you want to support my other forms of content, over on Mystic Reads, I read fanfics. One of them right now is Road to be a Pokemon Master Kanto Edition, where Ash and Serena start from the very beginning and journey through Kanto together. On Mystic Umbreon Shorts, I do other exclusive Pokemon content such as Pokemon Facts, and on Saturdays I upload my top 5 favorite Pokemon of the type. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an excellent day.